On the morrow he will leave me, as my hopes have flown before, and the bird said nevermore.
You're listening to the Call Podcast with Brandon and Josh.
Hello, everybody. What's going on? Thank you for joining us on the call for our yearly live show here at Christmas time.
Absolutely.
Christmas time.
Merry Christmas to you, Brandon.
Merry
and we're
Christmas.
doing a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Outside in the elements, just like we were on Saturday. And you can hear it in my voice. I'm still a little raspy.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
still
sick.
feeling it.
I'm not sick. It's being part of the 12-man and part of the Festivus Maximus celebration,
That's
the
right.
clinch miss, and Ravens are in the playoffs. So did a great job on the wake-up call, by the way.
Thank you.
Obviously I was incapacitated vocally. I couldn't record and break down this, but since we're together, we finally beat them. Finally.
Everybody was saying, is this still a rivalry? We were talking about, is it still a rivalry? Is it? And the Ravens came back and they were able to get a dub in dominant fashion. I mean, this wasn't like everybody was saying, oh, it's going to be 13-10. It's going to come down to the last couple minutes. And this game kind of got put away. I mean, I want to say pretty early.
Yeah. Well, to kind of break it down real quick, since we're together and we want to talk about this, I know you did a lot of the heavy lifting on the wake-up call, but I'll tell you this, man, where I thought the game was in hand, when the Steelers going for it at midfield on 4th and 6, that was the time.
Right.
Like when you see a team start to get out of their element and go for it on 4th down, they try to make something happen on offense and create something.
Right.
That right then and there, I knew it, right? But dude, what a fun night. What a fun night to be there. What a fun win. I gushing about it, man. It's great. Ravens in the playoffs. I will tell you this right now. Apart from
telling everybody on Facebook to
I was
join
wondering
us
what
over
you're
on
doing.
YouTube.
Yeah, sorry for the pause. I was trying to figure out what you were doing. You're over here clicking buttons live on air.
I'm trying.
I don't know if we're still live on it. Yeah, we're still
we're
live.
still live. So all these changes with Facebook and X and everything else makes it really difficult to live stream.
and Overcast.
I don't think we're available on Blue Sky yet, but there's all these different ways to stream. So YouTube and Twitch seem to be the most easiest way to go directly to people. So I'm sharing the YouTube link on our Facebook and making sure people know
awesome.
where to join
I always
us.
appreciate that.
Yeah.
You work your magic, get everything out there, put the links in there.
Yeah.
Wanted to ask you specifically now because you're doing that, I lost my train of thought. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. No.
How do I use this thing? What is this?
Here, it's a lighter.
I want to show. You got to show me what to do here. So, all right, since we already lost
amateurs,
since we already lost the train of thought, I don't know about cigars. I am literally just learning about cigars within this past year or so. So, show me what am I supposed to do here?
You're supposed to cut the end.
This end?
Yes.
Oh, you see, I've done this poorly already.
Oh boy, gotta teach this guy. All right, so let me here, bring it over here.
Bring it over here. Okay.
I'm gonna cut this.
Just a little snip. Just a little snip.
And then I'll give you a light.
Okay. All right. Good. Oh,
Yep.
Okay. And then just
puff away.
Okay. All right, cool.
I finally laid it.
So I've been doing this wrong for about a year because I don't have a cutter like that. So
well, now I know this. Now I got to talk to Santa Claus because unfortunately I didn't get those accessories for you, but I'll keep those in mind for the next holiday. Now that you're getting into it a little bit, you need the proper accessories.
Yeah.
So I will certainly hook you up, my friend.
I appreciate that.
It's always good to partake.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to you. Happy Festivus Maximus, everybody. The Ravens are in the playoffs. There was something about this Steelers game I wanted to talk about before we start talking about anything that's on our mind. Obviously, with the Christmas live shows, we always do, and we got presents to unpack.
Yeah, literal presents.
Literal presents. Oh, I know what it was. I got a surprise for us.
Uh-oh.
I got inspired. After the Ravens game, and I was skipping down the sidewalk on Russell Street, singing some jingles that came to my head.
Okay.
And spawn this whole idea.
Are we going caroling? Right now? Is that what we're doing?
How did you know? Because I don't know I didn't even tell you my bit, but we are going to go Christmas caroling, but the Ravens edition. Are you ready, Brandon?
I love it.
How did you figure that out? We know each other so well. So I was singing this jingle. It just came to me, and then I spun other ones. So you're going to help me out a little bit. Okay, you ready?
All right, let's do this.
So we're going to do something special for y'all. And I was kind of giving you a kind of a insider information on earlier in the post, right? It was like, oh, we're going to have some fun on the Christmas call episode. We're going to do the call Christmas karaoke.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
And my little raspy voice is going to attempt to sing. We might gain viewers or we might lose viewers. I don't know what might happen here.
Yeah.
I don't know. But before I get to it, let me give a good drag.
Yeah.
So this came to me. So you ready, Brandon? This is the Ravens edition of Let It Snow.
Okay. All right, let's
in
do
the
this.
tune of the Ravens. And this is all inspired by the Ravens Steelers matchup on Saturday night. Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
Yeah.
Beating the Steelers is so delightful. To the playoffs we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Oh my
Ravens.
God, I love it.
So the inspiration of that, I'm skipping down the freaking sidewalk on Russell Street. And I was literally saying that. I heard somebody go, is this like cold or something? And I was like, cold. We just beat the Steelers. And I was like, weather outside is frightful. Beating the Steelers is delightful. And I'm like skipping around like Christmas tunes, happy as a clam.
I love it.
That's the first one.
Okay.
Ready for the next one. This is for you, Steelers fans. This is especially for you.
Yeah.
You're a mean one, Mr. Steelers fan. You really are a heel. You're cuddly as a cactus. You're charming as an eel, Mr. Steelers fan. You're a bad banana, and you look like one too, with a greasy black peel. Like it?
Luckily, they aren't Grinches. They're not stealing our Christmas. We stole theirs this year.
Remember the Christmas night game? I was reminiscing about this. We were Jimmy Seafood, and AB stole our Christmas.
He did.
AB stole our Christmas. So we have a Christmas special on Wednesday, and we break it all down with you. But I have two more.
All right.
Two more.
Let's go.
But we're not done with the Grinch song. I need your help here.
All right.
If you can remember the lyrics, I'm going to go down to a few other verses because this was perfect for the Steelers because there's purple in it. You're a rotter.
Mr. Steelers.
Fan.
Mr.
Come
Steelers
on.
fan.
You are the king of sinful sots.
Not the kings of the AFC North.
No, not at all. Not yet. We're coming for you. Do you know the next lyrics? Finish the lyrics. You're a rotter, Mr. Steelers fan.
I don't know.
Your heart's a dead tomato, splashed with moldy purple spots. I couldn't wait to read that. I was so excited.
I didn't realize it was purple spots. That's pretty
it
good.
Is. Clever, isn't it? See? It was a Ravens jingle all the time. Two more songs for you guys, and then you can unclog your ears. So we're Brandon. We're about to go walking in a Ravens wonderland. You ready?
Oh, I'm so ready.
All around me, the towels are twirling. And on this winter night, the wind was swirling. It's a beautiful sight, and we're happy tonight. We're walking in a Ravens wonderland. And the finale. Jingle bells, Steeler fans smell. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Enjoy that?
I did. That was a good one. I like it.
Yeah, I'm a goofball. I know. I don't really care. But that is Ravens Christmas call karaoke or whatever I dubbed it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
The inspiration.
Yeah.
I was just so happy beating the Steelers. And in the Christmas spirit, I just had to put that to song. So
we have it on good authority that Santa Claus himself is a Ravens fan. I mean, that's
well, we knew that already.
That's like a given, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a given.
I know what I was going to say. Speaking of that.
Okay.
Because obviously he didn't let the Steelers win and take the North on our home turf.
Right.
That matchup, this is what I want to say to you. The matchup, which I was so fired up to beat them, right? But I told my friend Chris, and I was telling everybody, we were tailgating and all that. I said, I had to sit there in January in this calendar year and watch the Kansas City Chiefs celebrating the AFC title on our home turf. And I said, it ain't happening. We're not going to see another team celebrate a hat and T-shirt on our home turf in the same calendar year. Steelers are not doing a hat and t-shirt game tonight.
Yeah.
It ain't happening. And it didn't happen. Ravens by 17. It was glorious. Awesome.
So what do you think the big difference was between the last Steelers game and this Steelers game? Did the Steelers were they injured more? Have the Ravens figured out how to play against them? Like why? What happened? What made this such a dominant win and the last one not so much, where it was a loss for us?
Well, I think obviously the Ravens are learning from their mistakes. It's not the definition of insanity where it's like, here's the repeat again.
Yeah.
And I think that you're seeing the Ravens rise.
Yeah.
You're seeing them really they're really taking it to heart. And congrats to all the newest Ravens, Derrick Henry and others who are on the team, like Roquan, haven't beaten the Steelers. It's a shame. And if I remember correctly, I don't think Roquan has ever beaten the Steelers as a Raven. Was that true? Because didn't he come here in late 22, and then last year we got swept.
Right.
And
I think that's
because
right.
we didn't beat them last year, I don't think. Because remember, we sat starters because we were the 1 seed.
Right.
And then there goes some deer. That was pretty cool. They went on the show too. That might have been. I don't know. Well, you said Santa's a Ravens fan. He might have been here already delivering presents. It's a couple of days early, but who knows? I just saw them out of the corner of my eye. It was pretty awesome. But no, I think what made it differently is the Ravens said enough's enough. They drew a line in the sand, and they said, this is the game. We're not losing this game. And they went out bold. Kudos to Lamar coming out and finally exercising his demons. He can play against the Steelers. They figured out the formula. Hey, feed Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, they didn't have an answer for it, and it was great.
Now, I mean, Lamar had a fantastic game. Everybody's talking about how, there's a lot of firsts. Like, it was the first touchdown, I think, for Mark Andrews up against the Steelers. It was his first time against the Steelers getting a touchdown.
Kidding.
So, it was a historic game. But I guess the one blemish was the interception that Lamar threw. And, we're trying to figure out what happened there because it looked like he had some speed behind the ball, but it didn't look like he had a target in mind. And, of course, I think you've seen the clip. I've seen the clip of Todd Monken screaming, and it looks like, if you're lip reading, it's saying Bate stopped his route or something like that. So I don't know if you can blame that interception on Lamar, but obviously it was some sort of miscommunication, something going on. But really, that was the only blemish on the day. Yeah,
if you want to be perfect, right?
Yeah.
But it was an inexcusable interception. Being live at the game, when you see it happen, you're kind of like, did that really happen? It's a bad throw or whatever, miscommunication. But I was sharing with you prior to the show, the aftermath and the chatter on socials were like, oh, well, Bate, there was miscommunication. You can see Monken go, Bate in the video, right? So it looked like he was saying, like, what are you doing? And everybody was like, oh, he's saying, what are you doing? Because Lamar threw it. I'm like, no, because you're reading his lips. He looks like he's screaming, Bate. And then obviously, and everybody's up in arms because Zay Flowers was wide open on the other side.
Right.
So it was a missed opportunity, but thank you to Marlon Humphrey. Thank you to Marlon Humphrey and the defense rising up, making a play, which I was telling my friend Jen sitting there in the stands with what voice I had left. I said, when was the last time the Ravens had a defensive score?
Yeah.
I can't even remember.
It's been a while.
I actually had to look it up.
What was it? Kyle Hamilton in London, maybe? Last year?
Actually, it could have been Kyle Hamilton. Well, that or the one I was thinking of was, remember how the previous Brown game started with Kyle Hamilton? Remember the Browns?
Yeah.
It was with Deshaun Watson, and it was the tipped interception. It came right to him, and the Ravens had like a 7-0 lead, 10 seconds in the game, and they still lost. It was so stupid. So I felt really confident the way the Ravens came out and imposed the will. They came out to a 7-0 lead. They didn't get down, even though it was a tie game early on at 7-7, but the Ravens never trailed. Right. It was either tied or the Ravens went ahead easily. And dude, it was just so fun.
Yeah.
And there's more work to do. Short week. We have Christmas on the horizon. Christmas is 2 days away.
Yeah.
Which is unfathomable, man. This year's gone by so quickly. And
I feel like we just did this.
Right. Well, I feel like we just did this 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And I feel like the season just started. Here were 2 games left to the playoffs. It's crazy. There's 2 games left in the regular season, guys. Like, there's 1 more game left in 2024 for the Ravens. And their final home games against the Browns. It's going to be a fight to the finish.
Yeah.
The AFC is far from being settled. Steelers got one big one. If we can get a Christmas gift early on that day and the Steelers fall to the Chiefs and lose their 3rd in a row, wide open for Baltimore to go to Houston and take victory.
Now,
that was going to be huge.
We know the NFL and the refs love to help out Kansas City. I mean, I don't know how you can even say, oh, that's not true anymore, because, I mean, it is obvious that there's some favoritism going on there. So the Steelers definitely have a tall hill to climb on Christmas Day. But we have Houston, who kind of got a little banged up this past week. I mean, they've already lost Stephon Diggs earlier this year, and they lost another wide receiver. I think is his name
Tank Dell. Horrible injury.
Nasty looking injury.
Very.
Yeah. And we saw how much that affected CJ Stroud because those guys are very close. So they're a little banged up. But if you remember last postseason, the Texans gave the Ravens a run for their money in that first game in the postseason. Like the first half, yes.
Because it was all Lamar and all Ravens in that second half. It
Lamar
was a really close game.
Going into halftime. But
yeah, he gave the team a lashing. He came out, scored like 3 second half touchdowns.
Yeah.
It was a 34-10 romp.
Yeah.
It was 10-10 a half, if I remember.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it was like, that's it. No more.
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to see. We're going to go to Houston. It's a Christmas Day game. They had a walkthrough on Sunday. They had practice today on Monday as we record this. We saw that Zay Flowers was out for a second day in a row. I got to imagine that's maintenance, and because it is a short week, you don't want these guys to get too banged up in practice or something like that. Bateman just got hurt last week in practice. I'm sure on this very short week, they are taking no chances and letting guys rest their bodies because it's, again, 3 games in 10 days.
Yes, and this is the third game in that 10th-day slot.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Chiefs and Steelers are on the same boat.
Yeah.
Mahomes, I think it was 11 days for the Chiefs, but still, 10, 11 days, who's really counting that extra day? But, if the Ravens can really come out of the stretch at 2-1, that was one of the concerns on the schedule at the end of the year, playing, the likes of Pittsburgh and Houston and, and then obviously Philly before the bye, and then, the Giants after the bye. So, I mean, the Ravens had the bye at the perfect time. I was concerned about the late bye week.
Yeah.
It was like usually they get it around like week 8, 9, and right around that like end of October-ish. When they got it in early to mid-December, I'm like, that's late.
Really
14.
Late.
But, where they were schedule-wise and health-wise, it came at the right time, coming off an ugly loss against Philly at home. And they had to look in the mirror, and, Justin Tucker struggles, and, coming out of that, the Steelers game was great. Tucker was perfect.
Yeah.
Lamar did his thing, balled out, put everything to bed. He can beat the team and get that monkey off his back right now and shut down another narrative. How about it? There was a lot of accolades coming out of this game, man, I want to talk about too with you.
Yeah.
So how about it? Who would have thought? It wasn't even Joe Flacco, right? Lamar Jackson has the franchise lead in passing touchdowns with right now 37. He can add more to that, 2 games to go.
Yeah.
That's unprecedented, man. Unprecedented. Yeah. And he has a career high in passing yards. How about the Ravens right now? They're on the brink of having a 4,000-yard passer.
Yep.
It could.
Yep.
Depends. Who knows what might happen. They already have a 1,500-yard rusher in Derrick Henry, and they have a 1,000-yard receiver in Zay Flowers. And then Mark Andrews is just doing his thing, continue to score touchdowns for the Ravens, and adding to his mark with the most receiving touchdowns in franchise history. This team's laced with talent, and you never should take it for granted.
They are, absolutely. And that's why I think Ravens fans, when there is a loss, and like a dumb loss like we saw against the Raiders earlier in this season, stuff like that, I think that's why fans get so angry, because we all know the talent on this team. We all know how good all these guys are, and we want them to win. And sometimes you just have to shake your head and go, what are you doing? Because there's no reason why. Like, what game, I can't remember what game it was, but Lamar was hitting everybody in the hands and the numbers, and everybody was just dropping everything. Like, we're very passionate. We're a very passionate fan base, but it's because look at all the, like, most people would kill to have just one of these players on their team. To have as much talent as we have, I think a lot of people just get so frustrated because this should be a Super Bowl contending team. But some weeks it looks like these guys aren't going to make it out of training camp. Right. And then, like this past week against the Steelers, it looked like, oh, just give them the Lombardi Trophy now. Like, it's this Jekyll and Hyde just doesn't make any sense. And I think that's what gets fans so frustrated because, like you said, there's just so much talent on this team.
Well, it gets me frustrated because I've always said time and time again, they're too talented for them britches to play down to their opponent.
Yeah.
If they get beat, so be it. Ravens aren't going to win every single regular season game. It's going to happen, right? They're going to take losses.
Losses happen. Those are the games that really count too, because if you learn from your losses, you can't win all the time.
About with the Steelers game, right? They learned from their mistakes against this team and said, you know what? And a lot of beautiful things came out of that. They really took it. They took it to heart, I think, and took it personal.
Right.
They said, we're not getting swept by these guys again. And there was a lot of glorious things. How about this, man? I need to hang this on the wall. How about the stiff arm that Derrick Henry put on Patrick Queen?
Oh, that was a thing of
Talk
beauty.
about frame worthy. Pictures say 1,000 words. There's 1,000 words in that picture for sure. 1,001 words. It was great, dude. It was great to just put them to bed, not to have them celebrate on home turf, because even the pundits were saying, I saw the highlights and they were like, hey, Steelers win. They win the North. I'm like, nah, they ain't winning the North.
Not making it that easy.
No, we're not going to. It was going to be a difficult out. So,
so you said you lost your voice on Saturday.
Yes, you can.
You're still so like you got to tell me about that live experience at the game. I mean, it was a cold game, but everyone I've talked to has said it was one of the most memorable games they've ever been to.
Yeah, it was something special to be there, to deny them a North Crown, to be alive for it.
Right.
Look, 2 games to play, and we gave the Steelers a 2-0 lead.
Yeah.
We were 0-2. Steelers were 2-0 early on. And it's all she wrote. Now we're tied 10-5 all these games later. And, being there, there's nothing like being at the bank live. And that's something I don't take for granted, because I know some people haven't had that experience. And I urge you, if you ever get a chance to travel, please come to a home game. Number one, me and Brandon would love to see you, but I urge you guys, call Faithful. I've been fortunate to meet some of you guys here, and Dave, give a shout out. He comes all the way from across the pond. If Dave Rivers, shout out to Dave, if Dave and his family the last time can come across the pond to a Ravens game, it doesn't matter. Preseason, regular season, or playoffs, it doesn't matter. It's still a Ravens game. We're still family. And if Dave can make it work, you guys can too, especially in the States. Make it work. But
I got to meet Dave when he was in town, and he was for the O's game, and that was after the tailgate. So I got to say, I don't really remember a lot of what I said to Dave.
Hey, you got tore up at the tail your first day. I did the tailgate this past Saturday for the.
Oh, you did the '90s one.
I did the '90s one.
Okay.
Yep. That was interesting.
My fiance is gonna be a little jealous that you were there.
I got video. If she wants it, I can send it to her. It was pretty cool, man. John and his crew and staff, they do a phenomenal job.
Big congrats to John.
Yes,
having twins.
Yeah, twinning. That I saw that post and I was overjoyed. John and his family, congrats to that. That's a blessing, man. To have one already and to really be blessed with expecting another, but now it's 2.
Yeah.
So you're just growing the family threefold, and it's great. Very proud moment to be a part of that. So
the flock keeps growing.
Jimmy's family keeps growing. So can't wait. Now we got to celebrate in style. Which, by the way, we'll get down to Jimmy's one of these days for dinner.
Right.
We'll certainly celebrate. There's a lot of things to celebrate, especially your engagement.
Yeah.
So I'll have the cat out of the bag live. Didn't gift it. I didn't know. I was going to get you a gift card. I was like, look, I want to enjoy this with you guys. So surprising when we can work it out in our schedules. I want you and Veronica, me, just us 3.
Yeah.
I want to go to Jimmy's and enjoy dinner and celebrate you guys' engagement.
Oh, well,
so that's one of my gifts to you guys.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We always love Jimmy's.
Yeah, I was going to give you a gift card and go celebrate. But I'm like, look, I want to be in a part of this with you, man. And especially the news. I know you said when partaking festivities, I'll be one of the groomsmen in the party. So all right, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
I got to tell you, I got in a little trouble for that. And not because you're one of the groomsmen. Not because you're one of the groomsmen. No, this is all on me. Okay. So I asked Veronica to marry me on it was a Saturday, the 21st of September. We recorded, I guess, that Wednesday. So it was very soon after. And I was like, well, I'm going to ask him because we're already talking right here and we're talking about it. And I know he's going to be one of my groomsmen. So I asked you about it. And Veronica's like, I don't even have gifts for my bridesmaids or anything like that ready, and you already are asking one of your guys to be your groomsman. Why didn't you tell me you were going to do that? And I'm like, well, spur of the moment, and we're talking on the mic.
Got excited. I had to do it.
So, but here's the best part. This is even funnier. So I post the clip on Facebook and the socials of me asking you, and I was like, I keep asking people questions. One of my mom's coworkers is watching the clip at work. She's sitting outside my mom's office and she's listening. She's like, that sounds like Brandon's voice. And then I asked you to be a groomsman and she goes, wait, what was that? Can you come in my office? And she was in and she's like, you didn't tell me you were asking Josh. You're going to be one of the groomsmen. And she's like, and you did it last week and I had to find out from a coworker.
So you get in trouble twofold.
I got in so much trouble. It's
by the way, you dropped your phone here. I'm going to get, here you go.
But yeah,
that's funny.
That's
funny.
Yeah. So I got so much
excitement.
Trouble. Yeah.
You want to spread the good news and the cheer, and but I love the way you guys revealed it to me and that surprise.
Yeah.
Because when you did it that game day, I was kind of like, they're running late. Like, where the heck are these guys at? Like, it's almost halftime, and then you came out and had the T-shirts. That was pretty special.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I know before we put it out on social media, I wanted to tell people in person, like certain people. So I made arrangements throughout the day, and Veronica and I just kind of like did a tour, a She Said Yes tour, and just went around town. So luckily, like you were actually somewhat close at a buddy's house watching the game. So I'm like, all right, we'll just stop by, say hi, tell them, and then we'll hit the road again. So like I had to map it all out. So you were in the map on the tour date. So
good, glad so.
Yeah. Well, I guess let's talk a little bit more. There's not a lot of information where we can talk about for this Houston game. Right. It is a Wednesday game. It's Christmas Day. It's on Netflix. I really, really hope that they have fixed the issues they had after the Jake Paul fight for streaming NFL games, because I feel like the Jake Paul fight it didn't go well. Like, they got sued from a guy in Florida because it just kept buffering and it wasn't streaming correctly. So I am worried about what's going to happen.
Did you keep up on that story? Did he win the suit?
I don't know. I think it's still ongoing.
It probably hasn't been settled yet. Usually court cases like that take months, but I was just curious.
Netflix is $1 billion company. I'm sure that they're just going to settle outside of court or whatever.
But I wonder,
like a free subscription. But
I just always don't understand like how those things go down. I'm not a legal expert, but I will ask this: would we have a problem locally? Because I'm still trying to find the line, but I read somewhere that locally here in the Baltimore metro market, the game's going to be simulcast on WJZ.
Oh, really? I did not hear that.
Yeah, and I've read it somewhere online, and now I can't find it. I could probably just look it right up and look. But I thought I read that somewhere.
I did not read that. I did not know about that.
Because remember, if I remember correctly, the same thing happened for the Thursday night game against the Bengals, because the Bengals game was on Prime, but it was shown locally on one of the stations. Yeah. I remember that.
WMAR
showed it. So that's how I'm thinking, are they going to do the same thing? And it's only for the market. The whole national audience doesn't get that. They get the Netflix problem. But you're right. Doesn't take away from your point about will the buffering be an issue? Because, and what's going to happen is, it's kind of like the boxing match was the guinea pig for that. And then a lot of people said that.
Yeah.
They have 2 mega Christmas games that are going to have to handle all that traffic on the holidays, and they're massive games in the AFC. And they feature great teams, great players, Super Bowl MVPs, league MVPs, it's teams that are all 4 in the playoffs right now, but it's a lot to settle, and these 2 important games are going to be showcased on the Christmas Day for a reason.
Yeah.
And you gotta hope, please, that I don't want to see a lot of posts on a day where it's a Christmas Day like that, and people are like now Scrooges and Grinches and agitated because Netflix can't get their servers together. They got to handle the traffic, and you have to believe if your streaming service, and this is one of the things why I hate streaming, because if you're going to have a product like a boxing match with a Jake Paul and a Mike Tyson, or 2 NFL Christmas games, you have to make sure your servers can handle that traffic. That's just sad.
And here's the thing. And I've been keeping up with this just because I work in television and stuff like that, so I'm always intrigued by this kind of stuff. Netflix bid on these 2 games, so they went around to the different stations, like the different networks, and said they went over to CBS and said, "Hey, can we use your crew for our 2 games?" Like, they wanted to use the camera operators, the master control people, the directors, that kind of stuff. And CBS was like, "No, you stole 2 of our games. We're not giving you our production team."
All the audacity of them.
Yeah. Then they went to Fox and were like, "Can we have Tom Brady on the call for this game?" And Fox is like, "No, he's exclusive to us. You guys are coming into this." So this worries me, because there are certain people in this industry that are really good at shooting sports. Like, you can't have a documentarian go out with a camera and shoot a football game. It's 2 different styles. It's 2 different ways of doing things. When I almost had a wrestling company come be a part of something here in Maryland, they said, "We're bringing our own crew because these camera operators that we know how to shoot wrestling." So that's, if these guys are going to be a first-time crew on Netflix, and it's a bunch of people that have never worked a camera before in a sporting event, it could get very choppy. Or maybe they're getting cheaper labor as well, who don't have as much experience as some of the seasoned guys on these other networks. So like, this NFL on Netflix experiment is really going to be telling on Christmas Day, because the crew might be brand new. They might be people that don't work together often. Like, television production is very much a team industry. And if you got one weak link, you're going to notice all over the place. So like they put out the crew of who's going to be on air. We know Jamie Erdahl is going to be at the Houston game as a sideline host, and they've got Nate Burleson and Nate Bargatze is going to be there. And
great comedian, by the way. One of his bits about golf split my sides. Go look. If you haven't listened to that, I watched that with my family, I think last Christmas.
Yeah.
Or last holidays. I can't remember. And oh my God, love that guy. He's from Nashville, apparently.
Yeah. He's got a new Netflix special coming out on Christmas. So that's why he's a part of this.
Yeah. So he's obviously a big guy, big. He's just a big, awesome comedian, man.
Very,
I love the content. Gotta go see it.
Yeah. So like that's going to be very telling of what's going to happen on Christmas Day is the crew that they have, the people that are on the air, who's shooting it, and can Netflix handle the NFL? I mean, Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was a worldwide event. It was the most thing ever streamed at once, and Netflix, and they failed. Netflix failed at broadcasting it.
And the NFL's still worldwide too. Don't get it wrong.
You're right.
I mean, they're already branching. So I don't know if it'll be the traffic of Tyson and Paul, but it's still going to be a lot of people watching these games.
Yeah, it's going to be millions of people watching this game, but it'll be very telling to see if Netflix can handle it. So there's a lot of pageantry going on as well. We've got Pentatonics, who are going to be doing the national anthem at the Houston game versus Baltimore, and Beyonce is going to be the halftime show.
Which, by the way, a little omen here. Paying attention, everybody. Trivia question. Who was the halftime act in Super Bowl 47 in New Orleans?
That was Miss Beyonce.
Yeah.
It's Miss Beyonce.
Yes, Beyonce.
Don't say a bad word about Beyonce, or Jay-Z and her will come after you.
And where's the Super Bowl this year?
New Orleans. It's in New Orleans again.
Yeah, just saying. Little bit of a lot of twines, and then with the passing, Jacoby. 12. The Ravens usually win it every 12 years is their track record. They won it 2000, won it 2012. Now it's 2024.
Oh, okay.
Things come in 12s.
I like that.
It is the 12th month.
Interesting.
So let's go punch our ticket. We're area punch our ticket. So, but let's go get the North, get a home playoff game. Let's go.
Yeah. So, what else should we talk about here? Because again, we don't know injury reports. We don't that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, we're gonna break that down really quick. Yeah, you're right. We don't have injury reports. Early indication is Ravens easily. I just don't see a way Houston can put up a fight. You know, they're decimated injuries. You know, they got Nico Collins and is pretty much the lone guy in the receiving core. Joe Mixon's still going to be a problem. I'm not discounting what Houston is and what C.J. Stroud can do in his second year.
Sure.
Had a special year last year. We know what these guys are about. The Ravens played them twice last year. They opened the season with them. You know, Stroud's first NFL game. They won it in Baltimore, and then they played again in Baltimore division round and beat them again. This time's in Houston.
Right.
I just think the short week's going to be telling, especially for both teams. Houston just played this weekend. So did the Ravens. But the Ravens played Saturday, so we'll see.
I mean, everybody that plays on Christmas played on Saturday.
That's right. I forgot. Yeah, Houston. So yeah, that's right. They trade off. I forgot. Sorry, guys. So yeah, you know, it was kind of like they swapped opponents for good reason. Kansas City played Texans. We played Steelers. Now they just swap opponents, and here we're on Christmas Day doing it. They call it the Christmas remix is what they're calling it.
Christmas remix.
The holiday remix is what it was.
I wonder, and my buddy Barry brought this up when we had dinner on Saturday. Is that why they use the candy cane patches?
Yep.
Because it's twisted the candy canes around, you know, it's the white and the red twist like that, and it's called the remix. So good. I wonder if they're doing that. I went on eBay and I bought 2 of those patches because they're just the coolest freaking things. I want to add that to my jersey.
I'm glad you did, because I know you love patches and you love your pins.
Yeah, I love my pins, love my patches, and I love Christmas. So when I saw the Ravens wearing the patch already on Saturday, I was like, oh, I need that. I need one of those. I bought 2. I'm going to put one on a jersey, put one on a polo, but I loved it. I love the patch. I love the idea. Something special.
And it's special that this is the second year in the road Ravens playing on Christmas on the road.
Dominant last year.
Last year they were dominant, you know, on that game in San Fran, and then put the Niners to bed really early, pretty quickly. And the Ravens just hit 5 turnovers that game. It was a blowout. It was a great way to cap Christmas. And this time it's in the afternoon. 4:30 on Wednesday afternoon. We get Wednesday football. How about it, man? Think about this week.
Okay.
We just had football this past Saturday. We just had NFL Sunday. We have Monday Night Football to come this evening. We have Ravens, Texans, Steelers, Chiefs on Wednesday.
Right.
We got Thursday Night Football. We have 3 games on Saturday. We have NFL Sunday. Oh, we got NFL Monday night again. On top of all the college football playoffs that are sprinkled in there. We got football all week. This is awesome.
It is.
It's football heaven. Love it.
So since we are
and it's the final round of the fantasy playoffs. Shout out to my pops. Made it to the finals in my league.
made it to the finals. All right. Way
Sorry,
to go.
Paul.
Way to go.
So it was a great matchup. But yeah, shout out to my dad. He made it to the finals in my league. So it was exciting.
How is this 4:00 game affecting Christmas dinner for you? Because like my family's not doing the traditional turkey, ham, everything because of the game. We're doing football food. We're doing
awesome.
finger foods. So like
It's happening in other families too.
Are you still doing like the traditional turkey and all that kind of stuff?
We are. We're not going to deviate. The show goes on. We still
we
celebrate.
also got some crab cakes, by the way.
Gotta have crab cakes. Yes, I love it. No, we're still celebrating. We're going to gather around the game time around 4:00. But game will be on. It'll be great to be around family. Open gifts. The game will be on. We'll be into it. It nothing stops. The show goes on.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little different, right? Because the game's in the afternoon versus the nightcap last year. So last year, all the festivities were done. All the presents were opened and everything was good. And then we partook of the game at my house here. It was a great time. But no,
show you hosted?
I didn't. Well, I hosted the game last year, but I didn't host Christmas.
Okay.
So there's a difference. Gotcha. Sorry, no. But I'm looking forward to being with family and just enjoying the day, and it's gonna be great. Got everything I love. You got my family's all together this year, and
food, family, and football.
Food, family, football, 3 Fs. It's just like Thanksgiving.
Yeah. All right, so Josh, should we go over our predictions? I mean, it's early in the week, but should we go over
early in the week? Game day's 2 days away.
2 days away.
I mean, early in the week, yeah. It's just weird. Go for it. What you got?
Let's see. Of course, I'm going to say that the Ravens are going to come away with a win. I think that they're going to fly in. They're giving the Houston Texans a lump of coal, and they're going to lead with a dub. I think right now the Houston Texans are going to have to figure out what they're doing on offense without their wide receiver. Like their wide receiver core is just decimated right now. So I think that Zach Orr has come into his own. He's looking a lot better since the first couple weeks. As our defensive coordinator, I think he's coming into his own. The guys are looking good. I'm saying the Ravens are going to come away with a dub, and I think they're going to do, 42. Wow. 42-17.
42-17.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You have the Ravens decisively in a blowout. My fault. I will tell you this. I also think the Ravens are going to win decisively. I think Houston, for all intents and purposes, has a problem, and it's Lamar Jackson, the Baltimore Ravens, coming to town on Christmas and playing Grinch and spoiling their holiday plans. And I also think the Ravens win easily. I'm going to say a little close. Say 38-13, right around your score. Not close game-wise, but close to your score prediction.
Yeah,
38-13 Ravens.
Okay, I can live with that.
Lamar Jackson throws for at least 3, and Henry runs for 100. For what it's worth. Excuse me. Still can't talk, man. I love being a part of the 12th man. I let it all out. I was hoarse by the second half, dude. Couldn't do it.
All right, so Josh, have we covered everything for this episode of The Call?
With darkness there and nothing more. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
All right, everybody. Well, if you would like to continue the conversation with Josh or I, you can. It's real easy. Go over and join our Discord, discord.gg/thecallpodcast. Make sure you join our server over there. Be a part of our game day chat and our tailgate talk. We are also on Facebook, facebook.com/thecallpodcast. Like us over there. Whenever a new show comes out, you'll be the first to know. Plus, we got some special stuff brewing up for Christmas, okay? Just want you guys to make sure you're following us on Facebook. You can check us out on YouTube. I mean, if you're watching the stream right now on YouTube, youtube.com/BrandoCashPods, and follow us there. Subscribe to our channel. We got some Christmas surprises coming at you. So that is pretty much it for the show this week. Make sure you write us an Apple Podcast review. Rate us over on Spotify. Let everybody know. Say I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan. I listen to The Call, and you should too. So that is pretty much it for the show this week. Josh, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Take us out the way you always do.
Absolutely, Brandon. Thank you so very much. Merry Christmas to you and your family. And Merry Christmas to all you out there, Call faithful. Can't wait to enjoy this one with you all on the holiday. Ravens Texans, it didn't get much any bigger than this on Christmas afternoon, but I will tell you this. It's It's going to be a great Christmas. If those Kansas City Chiefs, hey, hate to say it, we got to be Chiefs fans and do the chop and put on our red.
Oh,
you got your red Santa hat.
Yeah.
So you got to. We got to root for Mahomes and the boys to get it done against those hated Steelers.
We got to be Swifties. We got to be Swifties this week.
We got to be Swifties.
All right.
We do.
All right.
I guess I can do it for one day. But it's all for worth it.
Living on
Steelers
a Christmas
will fall.
tree farm.
You're still keeping the karaoke on. I can't wait, man. Ravens going to go to Houston. They're going to ball out, get their 11th win on Christmas Day, and we're going to be that much more excited as they come home to face the Browns in the season finale of the 2024 season and put a bow on everything, and hopefully it'll be a AFC North crown. Ravens, easy path. They went out. Steelers dropped one. Ravens are AFC North champs and are hosting a playoff game this year, so let's get after it. Enjoy all your Christmas activities. Enjoy the gift giving, the gift opening, all the food, all the family, all the fun. But leave you with this, and something Harbaugh said in his presser. I know a lot of fans, he's not the biggest fan amongst our fans, I should say. But I will say this. In the spirit of what Harbaugh said, I don't know if you saw his post game. It's phenomenal. You did. Yeah. Rejoice, man. Rejoice in the losses. Rejoice in the wins. It's rejoicing each other, man. Lift each other up, being around each other. And this is what this holiday is all about. So, and it just was like that too. It's Saturday night, giving the Steelers fans some hard time. But at the end of the day, I told a Steelers fan this: don't hate you, just hate your team. You're good people. You have to remember that. Just because they're wearing the enemy's colors, remember that in Houston. They're Houston Texans fans, and people might be rooting against them. But at the end of the day, just rejoice in everything that's going on. And with that, Baltimore Ravens, how about it? Let's fly to Houston. Let's give them some problem. And let's come away with a dub. Christmas edition, Baltimore Ravens. How about it? Merry Christmas. Let's fly high.